Barbarian Horde, enter the ocean of ambrosia immersion right now. Preview, overview, within the Ring of Fire Saga book. Your main man will be walking you through just what is in this tome and uh, giving you some views so you could look and ponder your purchase or drive through RPG of Within the Ring of Fire Saga book hardcover. You can see a nice thick-sized book from Raw Immersive Games from your main man's mind, and you can just see right there, right off the bat, wonderful, beautiful cover artwork. And let me just let you drink in Covega Thale itself, the map, and you can see right in there in the center is a scene. You can also get a large poster-sized map from my Cafe Press store, which you can find right on the homepage here. Also, of course, check out Raw Immersive Games on Facebook like that and get all the latest. So you can see that. And we also have the same map in the back of the book right here as well. So you don't have that seam to contend with. You have the one-page spread, so you can go either way with it, right for your convenience, right in this book. You can see here a two-page character sheet called The Mask, and you can see the mask on there. All your different traits here. And we have included on the character sheet the quick mechanical explanation for these traits. The mechanics are seamless and simple and devised to promote immersion to that highest level. This is the system that we will be playing forward into many different genres and many different types of games. One of the first things I had, and my son's running up on me. One of the first things I had in putting together this system and having reviews and so forth from various different people or run the ideas by is, wow, I want to take that system, use it for this, use it for this, use it for this. And trust me, those sorts of games will be coming all so soon. This is not going to be one book, just your typical one book sort of game. Saga book is your core book, and right now there are 4 other books written. 77 Thrones, the Theological Codex, which is right here, is, of course, also physically done. That's the first proof there. And very, very, very soon, well, we're not making it very soon, the books will be out and available. And what this book has in it, sorry, it's like a load of people in the room right here. But let's just sort of walk you through what this book has in it. It's going to start off with a introductory short story called The Shadow Purge. And this is going to take place in a very important timeline of history. Now, this, one of the chapters, you're going to do the history chapter. There is a place, this is, the starting point. But that doesn't mean you can't go way back into the annals of history of Gogathale and play your saga at any point that you want. So you can see, we have right there, we have this nice picture of a Mihan Gi, with the fangs. I don't know if you can quite see that there, and the whole book is color. You get this story, so you can sort of see a Mihan Gi perspective, and there's a few other of the base species in there as well that are in this book. You can see some more of the beautiful artwork. I mean, look at that thing by Andrew Bampton, and another one as well by him. There are a large number of different artists who have made wonderful contributions to this book. But right there, and you might have seen that when I was showing off his wonderful artwork there. You might have seen chapter 1 is role playing, and it's about being a flame tender. It's about making characters. It's about bringing a catalyst to play that sparks that imagination and fires up the enthusiasm of those around you and presents your flame tender with a desire to run game after game after game after game, to give them the energy to play in a fashion that is wonderful. I believe this hobby, the greatest enemies of the hobby are a poor style of play, a power gaming style, a out of character style, the barely paying attention, drifting in and out of a game where it's barely anything there. I want to harness that train to in-character immersive delight, chasing that perfect 10 game and attempting to replicate the tools that I use in my experience of that here. I think we have a beautiful, wonderful hobby And I feel that the way to make it bigger, better, to bring more people in, to include more people, is to put over the core concept, role playing, getting into character, experiencing the psychology of that entity. That's why we call the character sheet a mask, because it's that psychological tapestry you put on over your eyes and look out and experience that delightful, ethereal world of the flame tinder and of the other characters. And together you create this wonderful, imaginative, shared experience. And we go over with tools how to do that, with tools how to get into those advanced ideas. You can never have played a role playing game before. Pick this up, read the role playing chapter. Probably only need to read it once, maybe you read it twice, and you're going to have all the tools you need, not only to understand the concept, and the concept of role playing really isn't that hard. Make a character, play the character, stay in character, and then we expand upon that. We go through all various different tips and tricks, like I do in so many of these videos, and some more concept. A few that your main man has hidden away, and will be providing right here for you. And it's nice and easy. You know, we go through everything, putting a saga together, of devising a focus. Now, can you play your sort of typical Dungeons and Dragons, wandering around through woods, or you know, a quest for the princess, or dungeon hack, what have you, with this game? Yes, but we go through other concepts. We go through the idea of playing individuals in a fantasy world where you're dealing with political ideas, either secular or religious based. What about a group of people who are coming together in a church? And there's other churches in this city, and they're attempting to influence control over the secular body of government, or they're attempting to perhaps not even influence it, but usurp it. What about that story? And what do we need in that story? Who are the other players? So we talk about things like that, how to bring in, and who you're going to need to develop as your embers, your players controlled by the flame tinder. You want to bring in maybe certain individuals' wives. Maybe you want to bring in these politicians and develop them as characters, and develop their relationships out pre-established to this temple, to this church, to this religious order, to this cult, whatever it is. And who are the groups that are antagonistic and protagonistic towards your group, your religious order? Who are there with you? Who are going to support you? Who are going to be allied? Who are going to be enemied from the beginning? And how can those things be changed? Where's the dynamic capacities? Who are these embers? You know, and you make them real. And we go through that, and we talk about you know, the different sorts of things you can do, handling those politics, where you're either building a city, or you're building a temple, or you're building a town, or you know, you're going through archaeological expeditions and so forth. Because there's so many things you can do in a fantasy world, as opposed to hack things apart and get treasure. Now, when you think about that, it can really provide some interesting style of games. And maybe you're, oh, I've done things like that before. Maybe you have, but a lot of people, they don't get into that. They get into more of a cliche style, as opposed to expanding it and going into a lot of different directions. So we want to tackle those sort of ideas and issues right here off the bat in role play. We go through some things like that to attempt to illuminate some additional areas for the people out there that want to play within the Ring of Fire. This is not a game designed for a 10 or 12-year-old up. This is a game that's designed for an adult mindset, for people that really want to take it seriously, but at the same time, it's serious in terms of playing the game, so in terms of staying in character and so forth. The mechanical aspect of the game is very easy to grasp. You will grasp it in 5, maybe 10 minutes. It's all it takes. There's one role system in the game, and everything is devised down to a nice, easy way to roll it in. You have in this book 9 base species. There are different tiers where you can play within the Ring of Fire, everything all the way up to extraordinarily powerful things. But those are designed to be told in different styles of saga. It's not that you couldn't have a game where someone's playing a dragon, for example, and other people are playing simpler things. But that's not going to be your common sort of style. Right at the base level, we're talking about humans and ogres and this sort of thing. Remember, the ideas here aren't going to be necessarily what you might be used to if you've only played a Pathfinder or a Dungeons and Dragons game. What I've done is gone back and looked at countless hours, it seems, through mythology, which has really been a wonderful experience. And most of it is sit there and read my son, you know, Norse mythology, American Indian mythology, African mythology, Greco-Roman, Romanian, Eastern European, Russian, Oriental, just over and over, story after story, and taking in those sort of mindsets, because I didn't want to build a world that was simply Earth redone. This is not, Kvegathil is not Earth, knock it back a few hundred years, 1,000 years, 3,000 years, shoehorn elves, dwarves, and magic inside of science and physics and so forth. This is not what we're talking about at all. That is what Kvegathil looks like. It is an eternal black void of darkness, and there is one sun. It is Ahura Mazda who is dead and pulled through the air, through the ether by Eri. There is one star in the sky that only appears 1 hour before dawn, for it is El Sam, who has been imprisoned in the elder blackness, the darkness which is the body of Eramon, the eternal darkness, that which waits and looks to annihilate the world for its imperfectness. That one pink star is El Sam, and we only see her, the goddess of dawn, at an hour before dawn, and then during that period of dawn when she is free, for it is her time, and otherwise she is confined to the darkness for the betrayal against her parent. And we see down here the two twin moons, the eyes, the literal eyes of Eramon that look down hungrily upon the world it wishes to devour. And you can see the flat disc, which is the joining together of 6 elder creators, spirits of unbelievable, unimaginable power. That's right. Wind and water and earth and stone and fire. These are all things that are alive, living spirits that can look back at you as you look at them. You are, of course, an abnormality, an abomination. Flesh is not a pure thing as is spirit. It is something that is a mix of many things, a muddle. And in that muddle, we find much of the battleground that takes place, spiritually speaking, here. And you can see that joining and their Morgul, the ring of fire that encircles Kvegathel and looks out leeringly with 1,000 faces with its own agendas. And it is that sort of thing we have, agenda after agenda after agenda, and how those play out on the cosmic scale, on the global scale, you might say, although it's not a globe. And then under that, we have Tuhul, the stone, the underworld. And beyond that, the Oubliette, the pit of hell, where the 44 eternal, immortal trolls, well, at least most of them, have been confined to an eternal prison under the reign of he who has many names. And all these concepts, there are many, 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 many concepts. And I attempted to make the world rich in theology and mythology with interconnections between the divinities to give you a stage upon which you put your players and have them focus. The characters themselves are stars, though most of the world are simply extras. They are people of less import. You're a star. And like the star of any show, you're going to have some special aspect that comes along with that for you. The species in this book, we have the Farum, the children of iron, the Freying, who are something halfway between fairies and angels, these creatures of light and daydream. You have humans, who are a new species in the world. You can monster ecology video I did on the humans, and I'm going to try to go through these very quickly. Now these are 9. There are 9 in here, and there are over 30 more in Monsters and Men, so of base species, and any of those could be used in your saga. Not all are going to be appropriate for all sagas, but you can use a Chiri, Typhon, Nergali, on and on. But that's for a different video. Just to let you know, there's no limits, and we're not even getting into half species and this and that and bloodlines of angels and giants. Yeah, there's an enormity of options. I want to empower you as a player and you as a flame tender to make the story you want. Not to go, wow, it'd be cool if I could do this. I want you to go, wow, that was cool. You understand, so that you can have those yes. It's about yes, 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 in every way that makes sense, every way that is doable. The Kalfar are here, the Mihan Geese, the Wolf Fairies, and you can see their monster ecology video. All of these are going to get their own videos. You're going to be part of a game in a way that there's never been before. It will be interactive. You'll be able to ask questions from the designer, from the design team, and get answers, get videos on them, get indoctrinated into the mythology of this. And it's going to provide you with an interesting opportunity to really explore, not only in a written form, but in accompanying videos, which are of no charge at all to you. So it's going to allow you to have that option. Like I said, we're going to have 6 books right now. 5 are written. 1 is in the outlining stages, and that's just the beginning. If there's, well, we want this, we want that. If it's successful, if you guys support it, you'll get what you want. You go, well, we need a book on this. Damn it, we need these ideas, and thus you shall have them. So, not trying to dwell on too many things. I'm seeing I'm already getting a little on the long side here, but you have ogres, you have orcs, and ogres are nothing like a D&D style there. You know, the orcs themselves are the oldest species in the world, and well, in fact, you'll get a video on them soon enough. You have sirens, uh, you have the Vigish, and if those of you who watched the videos, the Within the Ring of Fire playtest, you'll definitely understand them. Here we can see, you know, a dice rolling mechanic. You know, you can see some more of the beautiful color artwork. You give a shout out to Andrew Bampton on that one. System again, very easy. So chapter 3 is catalyst creation. You're putting the character together. You're going to have chapter 4, which is extras. So it explains. We've already explained what a star is. Now we're explaining what an extra is. Extras handle and hold a different role, and they really help speed up that cinematic process of both creating them and of their play upon the field of mechanics. The mechanics are designed to be smooth and seamless and nearly translucent. In fact, I remember even with people who had only just recently been explained the system, some of the videos people are asking me, "Well, are you guys even rolling?" And the answer was yes. And that's with people who are new to the system. So, but again, the system only takes 5-10 minutes to learn. And once you're learning it more and more, boom, 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 and you want to have a system that runs like water and is almost as translucent as air, and that is really what we want to get across here. So, chapter 5 is advantages. So that's how you put your character together. A character is a combination of statistics, of advantages, of skills, and that's really pretty much it. Own passions as well. So you have essentially 4 categories for your character. You know, we get into passions. Who do you love? Who do you hate? Why do you believe? And how much do you believe? And you have sliding scales to measure these things out. No longer is it, well, I've been doing all this stuff for my God. I know the cleric over here doesn't even know what God's name is. And we're both presented the same way. Oh, no. No, indeed. You must have piety. You must have a proper understanding of your faith, of its dogma, and applying to the sins that will anger your divinity, the sacrifices which will please your divinity, and performing such things in stride. You have imperfections, which are the opposite of advantages. Your character, so that would be chapter 6. Chapter 7 is all your skills. We go through how those are done, how your fortes are done, how your passions are done, weapon skills. Now, though I have certainly said this is not a game about dungeon hacking and so forth, but we have weapons, full color, beautiful weapons, 9 pages worth, I believe. You know, there's some of them. Here's some more. You know, I mean, you can see wonderful weapons, and it has really a lot of rich. Well, we'll get to that in a second, I suppose. We have next combat. So you have the rules and mechanics for combat. Combat is really designed around role playing, around narrative, around collaborative narrative, around describing. Watch the AD&D videos, for example. We do that's this style right here. That was me bringing that style into the guide to say we're going to push the pace. We're going to describe things. We're going to be cinematic. We're going to be dynamic. We're going to be narrative. We're going to be collaborative. And as soon as you jump on that, everybody else has to jump on, or they're going to look like a buster. So you want to make sure that, and you bring in those tools in. So it's about role playing. It's about narrative, and those are very important things for establishing a pulse pounding, fast paced, enjoyable, immersive game which just staying in character. People are on the edge of their seats waiting to jump in to get their thing in. Chapter 10, we go over poison and disease, so we can bring in some of these mystical effects and diseases themselves. Of course, much like in the ancient world, diseases were demons. That's a physical thing, a spirit, or I should say a spiritual thing manifesting inside your flesh. And what are the ramifications? Well, they are horrifying, and we go through just some of the diseases that you may be afflicted with. I think that's also often a fantasy game, something that's just pushed aside. But diseases are horrifying, and when you have those sort of things, you got to think, even more so. But imagine disease itself has a degree of sentience, or perhaps a tremendous degree of sentience. All of a sudden, we're really fighting an enemy in a whole different way. and that is very much steeped in old beliefs. Read the Bible, read Greek mythology, and you can see things like that coming into play. You have in this book, this is not a book on divinities, but we do go through a number of them and explain them out so you can start. You can play the game with just this book. All the other books are just going to add and add and add to the richness of your experience, though. So they are recommended strongly. I would definitely also recommend a novel, which would probably be the third book out in the line. Picking that up, my editor says that is an absolute must read for the game. It just gives you so much more context, so much more understanding of how the species operate and interact. Chapter 12 is going to be history. So we go through that and we go through our timeline. We go through from the beginning all the way down, and we tell it, with some mythological context there. Chapter 13 is geography, and there's some just wonderful pictures in this book to paint the geography. But I gave this a 2-page spread. I just absolutely love it. You can see that. You can see the person there on the bottom. The clouds themselves are spiritual things. They are bird-like in their design. You can see that. So this is all designed for the game. And this is called the Blue Ocean. It is a desert. You can see those bones. Those are the bones of Ishmi. And this is part of Ishmi's disgrace. She was a goddess, and a goddess slain, and her blood rained down upon Kvegathel, upon this lush, fertile farmland, destroying it, turning it into blue sand as her blood poured upon it, poisoning the land thousands of cycles ago, and it's still there. Her people, the Hibben, transmogrified into goblins. Their sanity snapped, their flesh altered, and hatred replaced the hope and love inside their hearts. And you can see out upon that as this tremendous desert of nothing but blue sand everywhere, the blue ocean, just one of the many locales in which you can explore, you can run your sagas, and so forth. And there are many other places like that. The world is unlike anything that you've seen before, quite a different place. And that's something that a lot of the people have already commented to me upon when we were looking at designing and going through the ideas of how alien the world is and the feel of the world, which it gives you yet another reason to get on board, to get invested. The next chapter is the other worlds. So we go through the way that this connects to the dreamlands and to the outer darkness and to other places like that. And we also have a calendar. These cycles it's a 77-day period divided into 7 chains, which are 11 days each. And we have names for each day, and this is, you fully have for this page right here, Appendix A calendar, my permission. There you go. What else you need? My permission to copy that for yourself, and you can make copies. You can write up there, write the cycle. So you'd be cycle 5000, cycle 5001, whatever. But you can make a little note there. So you have your own ideas, what happens, and the divinity that holds the throne corresponding to that day. And we walk you through all this. They have a huge degree of control what happens. We go through the number of hours of illumination in that day. Not some days have full illumination, some days are complete darkness, and other days vary depending on the will of the divinity who controls that day. But many of the concepts are explained in here. Many of them are explained in 77 Thrones as well. So this is a quick overview of Saga book. Check it out. Get a copy. Drive Through RPG. They're going to be for sale. We're going to be putting out for sale in a number of other places, but that is the first place we're going to be putting it. You can also, of course, get the PDF right from me. You can just hit me with a PM, say, hey, I want to get that PDF, and your main man will send it to you. And we can explain exactly how you can pay for that. You can also get on my Cafe Press. You can get the T-shirts. You can get maps of Kvegathel. You can have this huge poster map sitting there to show your players, to expand that wondrous immersive experience that Within the Ring of Fire is designed to bring you. It's been your main man, Barbarian Horde. I appreciate and applaud your support of this project of Raw Immersive Games. Check it out, like it on Facebook, and get all the latest. The system that we have devised, it's going to be going through loads of different styles of genres of games. You guys support this, where we bring that immersive, nonstop locomotion of imagination to all your favorite genres. So become prepared to experience a role-playing revolution.